Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Jar of Marble dwellers and Jar of Marble curious. My name is Linda and this is Jar of Marbles. How splendid it is to see you. I'm so glad that you're here. I always look forward to it so much and I'm always grateful that you come and spend some time with me. This week, I'm talking about aging brilliantly. I tell you, the joining of many dots happen as we age, doesn't it? Things that perhaps have baffled us, we didn't understand, didn't want to understand, didn't have the experience to comprehend what was actually going down. The depths of understanding could be seen as wisdom or being so totally peed off that you just say it how it is. And all of that and 1,000 other things, people, life. Oh, and did I say life?
Yes, you said life twice.
Thanks, Bob. That's right, Bob. When in our later years we cut to the chase, we forego all the inroads and half-baked truths and we just say it as it is. Now, that can be the undoing of certain associations. Marriages, for example. So we learn to limit our sentiments on what we truly mean because we know we won't be understood. And then it can very quickly ignite into us defending ourselves, and then it can escalate into a full-blown misunderstanding and overreaction. So hence my point and many other Queen Ages where we may even say before a vernacular outburst, I say to my husband, for example, I just want to tell you this to get it out of my head. This is checking the temperature is safe to go further. Then once you've passed that first turn, I say, I don't want your opinion. I've worked it out in my head. I just want to hear myself say it. Now, he's pretty good, but I'm just saying that sometimes we don't want to do that whole someone give their opinion and someone come along and solve the problem. Sometimes there isn't a problem to be solved, is there? It's just simply you just want it out of your head. You want to hear it out in the world. You can hear how it sounds. And so it's something normally in this instance that I've worked out in my head, and I just want to hear myself say it. All this because for many years it may have been basis for unnecessary arguments, lacking the empathy and learning skills that we may have with, say, girlfriends. I am a girlfriend kind of girl. I do like the company of a like-minded person, female, where in my 60s I know immediately I am understood and that it is not up for being taken personally. That being said, many of us do not tell partners the full bag of lollies, not because it's a bit cloak and daggerish, but because it can get twisted so out of shape too fast and so fast, and which is not very helpful, I feel. Then there's the obvious not listening to us with a caring and interesting ear. As I was thinking about the subject for Jar of Marbles, I was sitting in a small cottage on a huge hill, looking out on of a window that was as big as the entire wall, so from floor to ceiling. It was raining heavily, and just the most heavenly views for my eyes to fall on. And I've got the log fire burning, and I'm just sipping on a tea, and I felt like it was full circle stuff in a few ways, coming back to what I love, the countryside, isolation, quiet, bird song, woods, writing scripts, stories, books, painting, poetry, plays, music and song, photography, incorporating that into my virtual scrapbook, that be Jar of Marbles. So glad you're with me. Did I tell you that? Well, I am. I'm so glad that you're here. I've always played around and loved these subjects, but now I have fully integrated them into what I'm doing in my life and mostly in with this podcast. So aging brilliantly. I love them all. I love all my hobbies so much and even more now.
Oh, get a room.
Oh, you're so funny, Bob. Anyway, I love fashion, dressing how I like. It makes me feel alive. Full circle. How I dressed in my early 20s. It was just a great time, the 80s, and I didn't wear traditionally what everyone was wearing in the 80s. Some of it I was, oh yes I was, but I also dressed in my own way and I loved colour and I loved good design. I also loved comfort, enjoying my life, enjoying my grandchildren. Some you have to love from afar depending on what your circumstances are. Full circle with renewing life by doing what you love, renewing your spirit by doing what you love. Hashtag aging brilliantly. Time is passing on by and the knowing you are on your last leg of the journey is very steadying. very sit up straight and take notice kind of energy. Enjoy it all, soak it in and love it. Yes, that's what I thought too. Let's have a bit of an applause. Yes, absolutely. Good, thank you. Big, deep, soul-rattling sigh. It's a way of consciously thriving in your life, to be aware that you can still learn new things and hold on for dear life to the people and things that you love and adore. And as Rumi said, let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. It will not lead you astray. Isn't that beautiful? Approaching my golden years has taught me the value of mindful aging. So with that comes a change in your mindset. I feel more grateful for what I have and more accepting of what I can't change and more excited about the future. It just all feels like extras. It sure does. Mindful aging has changed my attitude about success or adding to it, definitely. I care more about having meaningful relationships to show and follow my passions and making a difference in the world. Being mindful about aging, it's about embracing it and not fighting it. This has shaped my mind towards learning, a chance to grow rather than feeling threatened. It's about being aware of your thoughts, impressions, feeling without being consumed by them.
I have a joke.
Let's have it, Bob.
What do you get when you pick a pig's nose?
Oh, tell me.
Hamburgers. I know, it's not funny.
Oh, that's not bad at all, Bob. Not bad at all. Anyway, hashtag aging brilliantly. It seems to me that you have had to have sorted a few things out in your own life to get to a point where you can safely enjoy this side of the pond. I find myself in a strange season in my life and have been there for a while this season. It does appear to have a meandering effect where I no longer have the energy of youth nor the waistline or society's standards of how I may look now. I'm always aware of being just who I am in any given season. I have always loved skincare, for example. I care for my skin, not because I want to have my youth back. I've been young, I've been there, but now I'm older and that's okay. Self-care is really important to me. That deep core acceptance, compassion and love for yourself, for myself. I fully appreciate where I am, how I look at this stage of my life, which is healthy. I want visible health. Then I know I'm looking after myself and that it matters. You matter. I matter. I matter. That's right, you do, Bob. I believe the whole judgment thing is quite unstabilising and plain yuck. We don't have to choose sides. If you're unkempt with bushy eyebrows or you have Botox and fillers done, fabulous. Or if you've gone grey and smell of sandalwood, even better. Let's do a little less judgment on ourselves and others. You're all bloody beautiful and your value is immeasurable. You're a goddess, Queen Ages. So whatever you're here for, I'll stand beside you. You knew that was coming, didn't you? Absolutely. Thank you. And I say thank you for all of you too. That's absolutely wonderful. Thank you. No, that's enough. Thank you. A saying from Renewal. One must, from time to time, attempt things that are beyond one's capacity. That goes for holding harsh opinions about yourself and obviously others. And importantly, it is important to mention every one of us can, making the happiness of your life a priority. It takes time to make it a practice if it hasn't been a practice. If your head isn't in the right place, life can feel hard. Mind first, matter second. When we are managing our minds, everything gets easier. In the end, it's a choice if you're going to waste your time. Choose no, then move on to something else or reading that book you've been meaning to pick up. It astounds me when I hear from a friend, say, who is an avid reader and doesn't read anymore. They're so swept up, been there, in work and work-related things that the simple things that they once relished have gone. Too tired, and when not tired, don't have the time. Sound familiar? Here's the rub. If we don't stop and make a new choice, then you're helping out someone else, be it a job or otherwise. You're helping someone else live their life with ease. And where's you in the mix? There are many of us out there who are locked into helping their kids raise their kids and many other scenarios. I'm talking to the place where many find themselves child raising where they should be just living their lives. There are many who cannot back out, who do this because they want the connection with their kids, because if they don't help them, the kids, grandkids will be used against them and they'll be punished. I'm not saying to not be a part of your kids' lives. Yes, 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 and I'm saying yes. But what I'm saying that is that if you are being used and you are exhausted and they don't care about that, then you're the problem. I just want to see more fairness. This is rather like a pandemic from the many people I've spoken to about this. It is rather nightmarish, actually. It's a complete lack of respect and there are no boundaries. You can do this. You can certainly change it. Hashtag aging brilliantly. I'm not living vicariously through anyone. I'm doing it for me. I'm doing me, boo. And you may have noticed, I like it. You are allowed to get to a day and just decide to change who you are. Yeah, you can. You can dress differently, you can speak up more, you can laugh louder, talk freely, say what's up to new people, get that confidence going. You don't have to stay the way people see you out of the fear that they won't like the person that you want to be. Bugger that, I say. Because I'm going to let you in on a little secret. People in general don't give a fig about what others do. As long as it doesn't disturb them in any way, people do not care. Point is, you be you, Queen Ager. Hashtag aging brilliantly. There are many versions of ourselves inside each of us. The selves we were, the selves we have learnt to be, and the selves that are yet to, materialize, that we have yet to become. Every version of ourselves has taken us to the next step of ourselves. If we nurture ourselves properly, we can find so much inner happiness. We have many stories inside us, some told, some may remain untold for all time. Everything about us wants to expand itself. Life wants us to expand ourselves. We can create an energetic blockage by clinging to the known, to our routine and comfort. And with time, we can stand to risk an energetic blockage that is created within our lives, and we can then feel disconnected, uncreative, and tired, and then aging accelerates. This is where being creative, in whatever form that takes, keeps us opinionated and vital. Just love it. Now, as Maya Angelou said, because of the routines we follow, we often forget that life is an ongoing adventure, and the sooner we realise that, the quicker we will be able to treat life as art, to bring all our energies to each encounter, to remain flexible enough to notice and admit when what we expected to happen did not happen. We need to remember that we are created creative and can invent new scenarios as frequently as they are needed. Was wonderful. Thank you, Maya. Look, 1 minute you're young and fun, and the next you're turning down the stereo so you can see better. No, I don't get that. Me neither, Bob. But sometimes what we say can be as smooth as the cream cheese spread on your bagel, can't it? And other times we can just stumble over our words. I mean, when is the last time you hyped yourself up and reminded yourself how amazing, strong, smart, beautiful, and accomplished you are? Now is a fine time. You've got the sauce, like you're it. Act like it. A million apologies to myself for letting too much slide. Oh my God. There can't be too many of us that can say, oh no, I never let anything slide. Oh, so much. So much so, I recall meeting up with an old friend a few years ago who I hadn't seen for a good couple of decades. And one of the first things that she said to me after I was having a conversation, we were into a conversation maybe about an hour or so, and she said, my God, you're so strong. I can't believe how strong you are now. And I just sort of went, yeah, and we just kept on talking. And it wasn't until later on I sort of reflected on what she was saying, and I was thinking about when I knew her and why she would be saying that to me. And it was many, many years ago when my children were really young and I was in a couple of really frightening situations and I had to really play small to keep my children safe. And now, of course, we're way past that. And yes, and it was good to get that bit of feedback, yes, I knew that I'd grown, but it's so much more meaningful when someone, actually says that. So yes, a million apologies to myself for letting too much slide. I found that being amazed at what you attract after you start believing in what you deserve is a real outcome. When you see these results, of course, you want to see more. I call them ass wipe emotions. Basically, going through harrowing events and in a big chunk of your life, promising yourself that you'll not go through that again anytime soon and not with such power. Sometimes it is brought to your doorstep and that is just another ball game. It's not like you've gone out looking for it, right? So you've just got to respond or create a safer way of living or whatever it is that it demands of you. But same difference, how much though you apply yourself to a situation or ways that will always be personal to you. No one else needs to understand your journey as long as you get it. That's the money shot right there. And I can say for my own life, I get it. There might be a few people that don't, but that doesn't matter. They weren't there. They're not having to make those decisions. They weren't any part of that, scenario. These are the times that you may need to get away. Now, that is going to be, again, a personal preference or whatever you can afford. My preference is isolation, deep in the countryside, and if going away with a friend, it has to be that you are of a similar ilk, less to go on your own. I'm very fortunate that who I go away with is just have such a fabulous time together. So some of us isolate to recharge, and not everyone will get that. Talk about getting your thoughts together or dropping so deep into yourself to just ponder. Nothing less, nothing more. I read this. It was something that I saw, and it was written by an 8-year-old girl called Emma, and she wrote this. When I turn 100 years, I will be tired of everything and everyone. So I will tell everyone I'm going to Canada, but actually go to the Bahamas. I'll live in a tiny hut with my tiny dog. I will order fish tacos when I'm hungry and live my best life with no crap. A very enlightened wee opinion right there. You are allowed to be both, a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. Being selective about who gets your energy is also self-care. God, no truer words, marble dwellers, were uttered. Peanut butter, that was supposed to rhyme, but it didn't really work, but that's all right. So even more important to make sure you don't start seeing yourself through the eyes of those who do not value you. Know your worth even if they don't. And as Joe Dispenza said, thoughts are the language of the brain and feelings are the language of the body. And how we think and how we feel creates our state of being. Now, aging brilliantly, friendship, true kinship has to be embedded in our discussion today. Great friendships can have lasting impacts, especially if you can open up and not be afraid of being vulnerable. Quality friends boosts your sense of belonging and happiness and improves your confidence and also helps when you're coping with stress. These amongst so many other benefits. I think as Jane Fonda said also about meaningfully connecting with another, Jane said, you have to be intentional. So true. And as Rumi said, when you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you, a joy. Well, Virago, marble dwellers. This applies to any woman of any age. Don't make yourself small for anyone. Be the awkward, funny, intelligent, beautiful little weirdo that you are. Well, I can claim a couple of those myself. Don't hold back. Weird it out. And here's a lovely quote from Mary Oliver. The most regretful people on earth are those who felt the call to creative work, who felt their own creative power restive and uprising and gave to it neither power nor time.
Hey, you better slow down on your coffee. That's a lot you've drunk.
Vroom, vroom, judgy Mick opinionated pants. Oh, people are so judgmental.
I'm not judgmental.
Well, you can be, Bob. I think we all can be when we're not really, concentrating. But anyway, moving on. Life happens. Life changes. We cannot control everything about our lives, and mistakes are made despite our best efforts. Forgiving ourselves is key to learning from any mistake, but that can be hampered by the opinion of others. if we let it. And that's the point. Here we go on our final ascent. This is it, the part where we don't give a hoot what others think of us in our older age. It's hard to grow beyond something if we are unable to let it go. Only one opinion matters. Yours. Only you know the unequivocal truth about you. You know the ins and outs of your life. You know your core values. You own your personal beliefs. You give every decision your undeniable best. You may want input from others, but ultimately your life decisions are and should be based on your reality and not the opinions of others. And with this comes strength and self-acceptance. And what a fabulous feeling it is to just plain believe in yourself. I know, right? It's very simple and a very simple feeling, and it's lovely. Thank you. Own your personal feelings. People cannot get inside your mind and make you feel anything. Other people may judge you, but you only fall victim to the judging opinions of others if you allow them to change you or your thoughts. I remember being told some years ago that I couldn't have long hair, that older women can't carry long hair, that it's time to let youth go.
Geez, I can't imagine that went well.
Well, I smiled, nodded, and did what I wanted anyway. Look, so my hair is at least 15 inches longer again from that situation, and it's long, and because I look after my hair, which I enjoy doing, it's not bothersome. Otherwise, I would change it. I love my long hair, and it won't be getting cut anytime soon unless I want to not, to appease the dinosaur societal beliefs. Who cares? Not I.
You've always had long hair.
No, Bob, I've actually had it cut short many years, which I love too. Do not allow the beliefs, thoughts, or opinions of others to define you. Stick with your convictions.
With old age comes great wisdom.
Yes, and hairs in very weird places. Probably shouldn't laugh, but it's true. Now look, Bob, I'm not that old. I'm 61 plus, shipping and handling.
I don't get it.
That's okay, Bob. And remember to smile.
Well, you still got teeth.
Good one, Bob. Yeah.
I thought so.
Hashtag aging brilliantly. Like anything, it is going to be what's in your head, how you think, what you tell yourself. So I've made it a bit of a habit to tell myself good things, and life looks good from here, I've got to say. If we're lucky, we're all going to travel on roads that are sometimes going to be bumpy, and that'll change. That is something you can guarantee about life. No matter what you do, what you plan, life will always change. If you do nothing, life will change. So here's to us marble dwellers, young and old, and some of us who aren't even older yet. Again, some who have seen it all, done it all, and don't remember a lick of it. Sounds good to me. Hashtag aging brilliantly. So marble dwellers, don't wait for decades to believe in yourself. Some of us simply do not have the currency to spare. Don't be afraid of being afraid. I often experience it myself. It's natural and perfectly normal. Don't be afraid to express your opinions. Keep your mind open and never apologise for any of your thoughts and opinions. We need to hear others' thoughts and ideas. Keep in mind what you say to yourself and what you think about yourself is way more effective than what anyone else can say or think about you. Just think on that. If you are sure you are a worthy human being, those that don't value you, you value you. It's such a rich subject. And that brings us to the end of another episode, Aging Brilliantly. How are we doing? Are we doing good? Yes, we are doing just fine, thank you. We hope you enjoyed today's episode of Aging Brilliantly as much as we did. Remember, age is just a number and you're never too old to learn new things, explore new hobbies or try new experiences. Before we go, we have a special shout out to our dedicated listeners who have tuned in every week to listen to the ramblings. You guys are like fine wine, getting better with age, and we appreciate your continued support. So to all the young at heart listeners out there, keep shining bright like the stars you are, and don't forget to age brilliantly. Say g'day to the family for me, give the elephant a cuddle, and I'll see you next time, okay? Bye.
Bye. See you later. Bye.